Mic check, mic check. Hopefully you can hear me. Happy Resurrection Day, happy Easter Day. I'm reporting to you live. I'm Larry Wiggs reporting to you live for iSee109 in downtown LA, the Arts District. Let's see. Yesterday I went to the camera store. I pulled up to the camera store and they gave me a ticket. Well, not a ticket, but they gave me a parking ticket. You know, can you see that? They gave me ticket number 109, 104-109. How does that happen? That's just one of the many stories that I have to tell. My stories are available at iSee109.store. For $1.09, you could buy a digital book. For $10.90, you could buy a physical copy of the book. For $10.90, you could buy a sticker, or you could buy a sweater or a t-shirt. I have some nice designs for you. You have to come and check them out. I was inspired by this brother right behind me. Ermias Askedam, Ermias Joseph Askedam. They say his first name, Ermias, means God will rise. How appropriate on an Easter Sunday, you know, for that name to resonate on Easter Sunday. But sadly, that brother was taken from us 5 years ago. This brother was taken from us 5 years ago on this day. I bring this up. I bring that sad, you know, story up because I remember where I was 5 years ago on this day. I remember. Do you remember where you were? I remember where I was 5 years ago on this day because I'll never forget it. Too many memories, too many impressions, things that stuck out for me on that day. For instance, I remember three specific things. I remember receiving the news that Brother Ermias was no longer with us. I remember seeing the number 109. And I remember seeing a cross. Those three things I saw in the desert. Those three things. I remember Ermias' picture, I remember the cross, and then I remember 109. I had no real, reason to remember these three things, except I remembered them. They stuck out to me. I'll never forget them. Do you know, when I returned to Los Angeles, I saw those same three things again, and they were very near, very close to each other. I saw a mural of Brother Ermias. I saw a cross, and then I saw 109. And I'm not talking like, I'm not saying it was one across the street or down the street, and then one thing was there, another thing was here, and as I was moving around the city, I saw these three things. No, they were right next to each other. They were right next to each other. There was a mural of Ermias. There was the 109, the number 109, and there was a cross all together on the same street. At the corner of Crenshaw and 60th Street, everything was right there. In close proximity, that's what I'm saying. Let me check it. In close proximity. So at iSee109, that's where you can find me. iSee109.store. All right? I think we got the audio solved. The audio issue has been solved. So you can hear me clearly. Then that's progress, okay? I had some issues earlier, but for now, I think it's been worked out. So that's the story. That's one of the many stories that I have. Inside of the book 109, you can find more stories. You can find a poem. You see, the poem was the result of my newfound understanding. I saw something in the desert. I saw and I understood things differently than I had understood them before. I think this brother was a saint. His works on earth were divine. I'm not saying he was God. I'm not saying to put him like that. I'm saying he was a saint. I learned about a saint, a black man, a saint in the Catholic tradition, a real man whose works on earth were special, were meaningful to so many people, to so many people's lives. And it's because of his works that he was granted sainthood. I speak of sainthood, and I'm in the same at the same time that I'm referencing Brother Ermias, because we have another saint, John Coltrane, another saint and also a musician. Imagine that, a saint and a musician. That's what we have in Nipsey. Why not make Nip a saint? Why not have a church for Nip? There's a church for John Coltrane in San Francisco. I was there a few days ago. It's wholly inspiring that that church exists. We need a church for Nipsey because his lessons are sprinkled all throughout his music. It's a powerful message. I'm able to say this because what I experienced in the desert made it crystal clear for me who this brother was. I didn't see him as Los Angeles or America might see him. No, I saw something much greater, something ancient. I saw something ancient in him. You see, he was from the country of Eritrea, which is next door to Ethiopia. And in our minds today, we might think that they're separate countries, but I can tell you, if you read the Bible, you'll read of Queen of Sheba. And at one time, Queen of Sheba, or Makeda, she ruled over Ethiopia and Eritrea as one empire. Those lands, they weren't known as Ethiopia and Eritrea, but it was Ethiopia, Eritrea, probably Djibouti. It was also Yemen and also Saudi Arabia. That was all part of the Aksumite Empire. And that's biblical, y'all. So when I watched the man from his humble beginnings here in Los Angeles rise to the heights of success, but when I experienced what I experienced in the desert of Oman, in the Middle East, a revelation came to me, an epiphany, a moment of clarity. I could see, I could understand, I could see who he was clearly. What a coincidence that we lost him on Resurrection Day weekend, that we lost him on Easter Day. Maybe there are no coincidences. Peace and blessings.